Okay, thank you very much, guys, for coming. Thank you very much for your time. I know بعض الأحيان as university students a lot عندهم المنتاليتي إنه لازم نقتصر على الأكاديميك curriculum، لازم نقتصر على اللي قاعدين يدرسون إياه الدكاترة. Okay, whenever you go outside that kind of circle، okay، بتكتشفون إن في واجد أشياء لازم actually you know about, especially people in IT or people in business تحتاجون هاي kind of combination in both. The combination between IT and business is really important in today's world, in today's industries. في كل الindustries اليوم لازم نعرف a bit of IT and a bit of business. إذا احنا في هالمجال we have to know about the other. That kind of combination is really great, whether you're in IT coming to business or whether you're in business coming here as well. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about business model. Today, we're going to talk about the business model in general. What's the meaning of a business model? So let's talk about the business model. شنو معنات business model؟ وبعدين راح نتطرق إلى شيء اسمه business model canvas. وراح نشوف we'll take some examples على أساس إنه we understand a little bit more about شنو بالضبط business model canvas، وعلى أساسها راح نفهم شنو في شنو راح نستخدم هذا النوع من خلينا نقول practice او هذا النوع من الثيري اللي احنا لازم نطبقه in our business. البزنس موديل هو ثاني خطوه of identifying a business, of understanding a business. اول خطوه شنو تكون موجوده؟ اول خطوه is identifying the concept او identifying the idea itself of البزنس. شنو راح نسوي؟ هاي اول خطوه صح؟ But before that في step number 0, okay, which is identifying the problem اللي we're going to solve. تمام؟ So step 0 comes as identifying the problem. Finding the idea and searching for the idea is not the first thing that we look for. The first thing that we look for is the problem, the challenges اللي قاعدين الماركت يمرون فيها، عوائلنا يمرون فيها، أصدقائنا يمرون فيها، الناس اللي نعرفهم يمرون فيها. Different businesses يمرون فيها, different industries are going through such challenges. Identifying high challenges is the step 0. Step number 1 is finding solutions for these problems and challenges. هذه راح تكون step number 1 and step number 2, which is the business model. زين البزنس موديل شنو بالضبط؟ البزنس موديل is basically a model that explains how a company operates. More importantly, it explains how a company makes money. وشلون هاي الشركة أو هاي الكمباني، هاي الستارت اب، هاي الاستابلشمنت wants to achieve its goals. يعني في النهاية every business في لازم certain KPIs for every business. كل business لازم في النهاية يوصل إلى goal معين، income معين، growth معين، أو أيا كان. شلون هذا البزنس راح يوصل these goals؟ فهذا البزنس موديل. Whenever we talk about the business model, we talk about not only these things. لا، بعض الأحيان ندش في details. ندش في details نشوف شنو بالضبط processes and policies اللي هذه الكمباني راح تتبناها، راح تاخذها، راح تطبقها في البزنس. لأن في النهاية هذه البروسيسز وهذه البوليسيز يعتمد عليها a lot of things when it comes to the business. يعتمد عليها شلون احنا نكلم الكاستمرز، يعتمد عليها وين نحصل الكاستمرز، يعتمد عليها how are we going to make that customer loyal to us. إذا احنا بنسوي البرودكت where are we going to do it, how long would it take to come to Bahrain, how much would it cost وغيرها من هاي الأمور كلها. فهذه البروسيسز وهذه البوليسيز كلها تكون جزء من البزنس موديل، على اساس انه البزنس understands بالضبط شنو لازم يسوي and then the business understands exactly شنو اللي له وشنو اللي عليه. So that's basically what a business model is. So basically a business model is supposed to answer who your customer is, what value you can create and add for your customer حق الماركت, and how can you do that at a reasonable cost. في النهاية any business, whenever you're going to deliver any business, ما تبون your cost يكون مرتفع على أساس تكون هامش الربح أكبر قدر ممكن. therefore we get the خلينا نقول the bigger amount, the bigger piece of cake when it comes to the net profit. فهني هذه what the business model is. الحين بما ان فهمنا احنا شنو البزنس موديل، شويه الحين تتضح الصوره شويه اكثر when we discuss the types of business model. عندنا 12 common types of business model. اول model which is one of the most او one of the highly spread models خلينا نقول في العالم عندنا اليوم is the subscription model. اي ابلكيشن تدشون عليه، اي نتفليكس، شاهد، مايكروسوفت، ادوبي، اوفيس، وات ايفر ات از، هذولين يتبعون السبسكريبشن موديل. في بعضهم يتبعون perpetual موديل اللي هو باي بس باي completely by the license. بس subscription model is one of the models. طبعا كلكم تعرفون شنو subscription model. انا عندي سيرفيس معين او عندي برودكت معين او عندي خلينا نقول الجيم از سبسكريبشن موديل، او عندي بليس معين، برودكت معين ابي اوفره الى الكاستمر عنده access على this kind of product, this kind of service as long as he pays me a monthly, yearly, weekly or daily subscription. فهذه هو السبسكريبشن موديل. very clear, very خلينا نقول straight to the point وكلنا نعرفه لأنه we all deal with it in our everyday life. The second model is the bundling model. البندلينج موديل عادة يكون two companies يطلعون خلينا نقول مو ضروري two companies actually، عادة خلينا نقول شركات اتصال الحين زين، بتلكو، اس تي سي، اليوم شنو قاعدين يسوون؟ قاعدين يقول لك تعال اخذ منا فايبر، بنعطيك additional data على your mobile phone، وبنعطيك لابتوب، وبنعطيك معاها مثلا ايربودز. اوكي، وكل اللي عليك ان انت you pay an advance of 50 dinars and come pay a monthly subscription حق الانترنت that is this much او ف the bundling model شنو is how to put multiple products together into a bundle ونبينها بطريقه تكون attractive to the buyer, to the customer. بهالطريقه احنا as a business what we do ان احنا نمشي اكبر عدد ممكن من البرودكتس we drive it in the market حتى لو كان ويا هامش ربح شويه اقل، ولكن what we do is that we take and we process and we apply and we adopt such kind of model لأن احنا نبي we want to roll out as many products as possible to the market. So that is the second model. The third model is a freemium model. The freemium model شنو is when businesses, services or products give you access to a very limited amount of accessibility. يعطونكم تشيكون البرودكت، يعطونكم just to test how effective the product is up to a specific خلينا نقول accessibility threshold، بحيث انه if you want to do more you have to pay. ف we get this a lot في مثلا عندكم سبوتيفاي، اللي يستخدم سبوتيفاي هنا I'm not sure if you guys use it. LinkedIn for example is one thing أنا I used and I actually bought the premium لأن I knew أن LinkedIn راح is going to add value to me and my resume and my career as well within LinkedIn. فهاي الشيء خلاني ان انا اوكي I tested I tested the platform. I knew البلاتفورم شنو يسوي بالضبط. I knew الفاليو اللي البلاتفورم راح يوصله حقي. بس I want to go more into that. I want to dive deep into that. I want to try and I want to apply the other services اللي LinkedIn قاعده تسوي حقي. Therefore I bought the premium. نفس السيناريو goes on to a lot of services online, to a lot of خلينا نقول products قاعدين نشوفها especially online products تعطيكم لأنها specific threshold and a specific accessibility towards the services or products. So the second three are significant بس الناس ما تلاحظها بشكل كبير. في عندنا business model we call razor blades model. razor blades شنو؟ whoever knows Gillette أو هاي أمواس الحلاقة، okay, what they do, okay, ده طبعا الموديل اسمه ينطبق على نفس الكونسبت. What they do is that they give you the main machine الستاند itself، يعطونكم اياه بسعر رخيص، حتى لو كان الستاند هذا يعطونكم او الريزر نفسه يعطونكم اياه at cost، ما يربحون فيه ولا شيء. بس what they do ان البليدز اللي فوق اللي يركبون على الريزر هذين يعطونكم اياها at a high price. ليش؟ لان that kind of machine اللي اشتريتها is of no use اذا ما شريتوا البليدز اللي فوق الموس. So that's exactly the same thing. Whenever we go and look into مثلا Xbox, for example, is one thing. Xbox compared to PS3 or PS4 or PS5. So Xbox is comparatively low in price compared to other consoles. But what happens inside that kind of game, inside that kind of machine, inside that kind of console, في a lot of things that you have to buy in order for that console to be 100% functional. أنا جايك ل 360 أيام 2008 and 2009. ف that kind of model is applicable in a lot of businesses. اليوم أنا مثلا for example عندي مثلا أبيع تنس. اوكي، ابيع او مضارب تنس وكور تنس for example. اوكي، اقدر ابيع المضرب بسعر كلش بسيط. اوكي، ابيعه at cost for example 10 دينار. بس in order for you to play tennis you have to have the ball of tennis. in order for you to buy the ball ابيع عليك البول ب 40 دينار. So that's how it goes. That's the concept of razor blades model. The product to service model. Whoever is in IT is familiar with the concept of with the term product as a service. Product as a service is a cloud terminology, okay, where you have a specific product that is provided as a service that is hosted on cloud that everybody across the world can have access to. اللي سوتها Uber is the biggest transportation company in the world, biggest taxi company in the world without a single car. So that's the power of product as a service. وهذا اللي سوته Uber بالضبط انه they incorporated people to come along and to actually use that kind of service as using the platform اللي سوته Uber بس ان هي سوت ال PaaS، سوت ال product as a service السيستم مالهم او المنصه مالتهم اوبر، وخلت الكاستمر هم اللي يبونه يسوونه throughout السيستم itself. فالسيستم is self run, the system is self sufficient, okay, to run the product اللي Uber rolled out in the market. So that's the fifth business model, let's say. The sixth business model is something that we see in every day. It's a leasing model. باختصار اجار، يمشي البزنس على البريميوم اللي الكاستمر يدفعه to rent or to lease a specific product or service. Leasing a car, leasing a building, leasing يعني an apartment, leasing a service, leasing a tool. بعض الاحيان مواد البناء نحتاج انه we lease it، او خلينا نقول الماشينري البيج ماشينري for construction we need to lease it out, we don't need to buy it. فهذا الموديل ماشي على هالاساس and we see it in every day in our life، لان نعرف ان في مكاتب عقارات، في مكاتب تأجير سيارات، في مكاتب تأجير معدات وغيرها، and that follows exactly the same model. Let's go for 7. The crowdsourcing model. The crowdsourcing model شنو بالضبط قصته؟ قصته أن the whole concept of that specific model is dependent on people, on the customer to add value. يعني for example McDonald's قبل فترة they introduced something that's called McDonald's Burger Builder. McDonald's Burger Builder شنو قصته؟ They open it to the public, to the customers, to build a burger for it to be adopted by McDonald's and for it to be displayed in 1,200 McDonald's restaurants in the UK. The concept of هذه البزنس model specifically is involve the contribution of the user to the product. فاحتمال هذه الموديل يكون هامش الربح فيه جدا بسيط. اوكي، لان في النهايه we're using the content, we're utilizing the creative minds of the users, of the customers to add to the product. okay, ولكن one way or the other it revolves around engaging people and having people to go through some kind of experience with your company that they're not going to forget. So it's more of let's say value related than money related. So that's one of the business model that let's say companies follow. The eighth business model is one for one model. One for one model is more of a social entrepreneurship kind of approach model. ليش؟ لأنه it encourages people to buy from you. لأن I promise people, for example, هاي قصة سمعتها about البيك. I'm pretty sure you know البيك restaurant that was very famous in Saudi and opened in Bahrain and now is expanding to the GCC. البيك says it loud and clear, promises sorry customers that if you buy any product from me, 1 riyal from that transaction is going to go to the poor. And similarly, a lot of companies do that as well. It's more of a social entrepreneurship. احنا قاعدين, we're tapping on the emotional aspect of the customer علشان we let that customer, we motivate that customer to buy from us in exchange for a lower value, lower price transactions that happens, for example, for the poor or for saving animals or for example to send some help مثلا مساعدات حق تركيا وغيره. So people could use some kind of you know status quo والوضع الراهن يعني في المنطقة على أساس إن they apply such kind of model for them to roll out and for them to inspire people to buy from them على أساس إنه they do that. They actually do that. Whenever a company says إن ترى 1 ريال or half of that price اللي راح تدفعونه اليوم كله راح يروح حق مساعدات أو كله راح يروح حق إنقاذ الحيوانات أو كله راح يروح حق الفقراء. They actually do it. Okay, but the whole concept of the business model is for you to roll out and for you to interact with people and for you to have that people and portray the company and portray the business as a business that is socially responsible. Or whenever you do that, whenever you go through such kind of a transition and such kind of interaction with the customers, this builds a huge, let's say, impression, a huge positive impression of your business to the customers. هذه النوع الثامن. النوع التاسع is the franchise model. Franchise model is basically well known out there and it's one of the خلينا نقول early adopting business models اللي طلعت في العالم. And McDonald's was one of the companies اللي خلينا نقول applied that kind of model من البداية كلش. So the franchise model is basically to have a company, okay, that is very well known in a big country, for example. Okay, but let's take Al-Bake for example. Al-Bake was very well known in Saudi, was very crowded in Saudi, has a huge customer base in Saudi. Okay, and someone from Bahrain saw that and thought, why is that business successful there? They must have had a secret sauce. لازم في شيء special about the business that actually عندهم that kind of fame and that kind of مثلا customer base في السعودية. Why not افتحهم في البحرين؟ فانا اروح حق البيك اقول لهم guys, I want to franchise your company في البحرين. what I do is I pay them to license ال recipes مالهم, to license the menu, to license the brand itself, and follow to get the machinery وغيرها من هاي الامور in order for me to sell Al-Bake's products in Bahrain. That's overall what the franchise model is. It's to take the brand, to take the machinery, to take the name, to take the recipes of another famous company outside the country, okay, and do it in Bahrain. Jasmees could have done that outside Bahrain. Kentucky, Hardee's, Pizza Hut, كلهم ذلين franchised. كلهم ذلين Bahraini owners, بس their franchise they took the license من خلينا نقول mother company in the United States. That's what the franchise model is. So let's go to the final three, and that is mostly a supply chain here, supply chain models, and that is the manufacturer. I'll start with the manufacturer, then retailer, then distributor, then distributor, then retailer. The manufacturer model is basically for you as a company to manufacture a product. You have a product that you have machinery to actually build and manufacture that product and bring it to life. You have a design, you have, for example, you have a patent, you have a technology, you have a specific way of manufacturing a specific technology, a specific product, and bring it out in the market. That's the manufacturer model. I have a company, LG, for example, Black & Decker, many electricity companies, let's say, okay, or many appliances companies, they follow the same the approach, where they have the manufacturer model. They manufacture all their products themselves. Source the products to someone else to build it. Similarly, if we look at Apple, for example, Apple, only a mini, let's say, portion of the devices are manufactured by Apple, actually manufactured by Apple, but they license the technologies and they license the methodology and they license the let's say the approach of building these technologies to other companies outside Apple, for example, to Samsung, to Huawei, to Intel, to Nvidia, and so on, for them to build the products for them and bring it to Apple. All what Apple does is put the products together and create the phone. So they don't actually manufacture the model. They don't actually they manufacture the phone, but rather they outsource it in different. But that's the manufacturer model. What you do is you actually bring that product to life. You build that product yourself. That's the manufacturer model. So the distribution model is the second line of supply chain. الحين, whenever we go to any shop, okay, whenever we go to any shop, هذه في النهاية المحل شنو اللي سواه؟ اللي سواه ان هم شروا البرودكتس اللي عندهم من الديستريبيوتر. الديستريبيوتر شنو يسوي؟ الديستريبيوتر يروح حق المانيفاكتشرر يقول له انا بشتري من عندك 100,000 قطعه. and I'll put them out there in the market for people to know exactly what you do. وطبعا على اساسها يكون في plan, and as a distributor I will put them in this market, this market, this market. I will talk to these people, هاي المحلات في هاي المناطق, بستهدف هذين هذين هذين. So that's the distribution model. اللي يصير ان they buy in bulk, يشترون 100,000 مليون قطعه, okay, and they go and distribute it within the market. طبعا لازم في شنو؟ لازم في هامش ربح, لازم في net profit percentage. فهذه يسمونه شنو؟ capital gains. When you buy for a low price and sell it for a higher price, that's called capital gains. فهاي بالضبط اللي distribution model يسويه, ان they buy from the manufacturer in bulk, okay, they take it out there in the market, يروحون حق الريتيل stores, okay, and they take or they sell it to the retail stores بسعر شويه ارفع, لان عندهم a lot, لان الكميه البرودكت اللي عندهم is a lot, حتى لو كان الهامش على كل product on itself قليل جدا, all in all compound راح يكون هذه كفايه for them to sustain itself and for them to actually generate a profit. هذه distribution model. That's the second level of the supply chain. The third level of the supply chain is the retail model. الريتيلر موديل هو المحلات اللي احنا نشوفها الحين اليوم, اللي قاعدين يستأجرون محلات ويفتحون محلات and they sell products. هذه كلهم ريتيلر موديل. الريتيلر موديل شنو يسوي؟ يروح حق الديستريبيوتر which is a distribution model وياخذ من عنده products, او بالعكس الديستريبيوتر يروح حق الريتيلر ويعرض عليه products. what you can see ان the cheapest to buy from is from the manufacturer. هذه شيء طبيعي وكلنا نعرفه. The second cheapest to buy is from the distributor. بس الديستريبيوتر يوزع بارقام كبيره شويه لانه قاعد يتعامل ويا محلات، قاعد يتعامل ويا ريتيل شوب. And the third level of supply chain اللي قاعده تجينا احنا بشكل مباشر are the retail shops, which is the retailer model اللي يوفر البرودكت او الخدمه الى الكاستمر directly، الى الاند يوزر. Now طبعا عقب ما عرفنا ال 12 most well known types of business model, let's go through something that is called the business model canvas. And business model canvas is 9 building blocks. Okay, في 9 اشياء رئيسيه. خلينا let's take them one by one. من اليمين customer segment, channels, relationships, value proposition. ان شاء الله this is one of the workshops اللي راح نقدمها بعد ان شاء الله by next week. The key activities, the key resources, key partners, cost structure and revenue streams. نمشي عليهم واحدة واحدة. Let's take them one by one. The customer segment شنو؟ The customer segment is basically who are our customers. واحنا راح نبيع ال product and service to who exactly, identifying شنو demographics of the customer، كم عمرهم، من وين هم، وين اقدر احصلهم وغيره. فهذه كلها are called the customer segment. شنو يشتغل، كم عمره، وين اقدر احصله، is he someone who's introvert, extrovert, is he someone that is looking to actually be part of some kind of activity or be part of a social circle or not. كل هاي demographics نعرفها في ال customer segment. Number 2 is the value proposition. ال value proposition is actually بالعربي نقولها ما يميزنا عن المنافسين. Whenever you come out to establish any business, keep in mind ان في direct or indirect competitors في الماركت. You're not alone. You're not the first. Unless you do something that ان انت سويته اول واحد في العالم, that's very unique. Okay, او كلش نادرا ما تصير هاي الاشياء. بس regardless, if you do, keep in mind انه احتمال يكون عندك منافسين مباشرين اللي يسوون exactly what you do, او منافسين غير مباشرين اللي somehow they partially do what you do. for you to be special or for you to have a market share لازم يكون عندك value proposition, شيء يميزك عن هاي المنافسين. 3 are the channels. زين شلون هاي الكاستمر wants to be reached, هاي demographics شلون بالضبط يبي البزنس يوصل له. رقم 4 is the customer relationship. شنو بالضبط الكوميونيكيشن اللي انت you're going to establish with this kind of customer. هل بيكون اوتو ايميلز، هل بيكون روبوت، هل بيكون روبو شات، هل بيكون او شات بوت يعني، هل بيكون هل بتحط مثلا موظفين مبيعات، هل بتحط موظفين كاستمر سيرفيس اور نوت. سو هاي كلها الكاستمر ريليشن شيب وعلى اساس شلون تبنيها. Number 5 is your revenue stream. الكاستمر اي قد مستعد انه هو يدفع for this kind of service or this kind of product. طبعا هذه في لها whole new discussion on how to identify اي قد الكاستمر مستعد انه هو يدفع. شلون انا بسوي ترانزاكشنز، شلون بجيب ناس، شلون كم هامش الربح اللي راح اخليه وغيره. هل الريفينيو مالي بس from subscription ولا from advertisements ولا from partnerships ولا شنو بالضبط، شنو الاشياء اللي انا راح اسويها اللي راح تطلع لي فلوس. 5 is your key resources. شنو بالضبط الريسورسز الاسيتس اللي احنا نحتاجها على اساس انه تو رن ذا بزنس. نحتاج كمبيوترز، نحتاج ماشينز، نحتاج سوفت ويرز، نحتاج بيبل، نحتاج خلينا نقول ماتيريال، نحتاج خلق، نحتاج اوبر، نحتاج وات ايفر ات از، نحتاج فود رو ماتيريال. هذه كلها تروح under the key resources. the key activities زين شنو بسوي انا؟ هل باخذهم ببيعهم دايركت ولا باخذهم I'll manufacture them شويه؟ هل I'm going to develop them شوية؟ what am I going to do exactly؟ شنو بسوي أنا؟ That's the key activities اللي البزنس راح يسويها على أساس إنه يطلع product. The key partners is number 8, which is من بالضبط البارتنرز ماليني. هل أنا بروحي؟ You can never open and succeed a business إذا كنت بروحك. You have to have partners. And you have to have key partners اللي تعتمد عليهم انهم يوفرون لك some kind of service or some kind of raw material or some kind of مثلا processes. بتحتاج بارتنر، مثلا يكون عندك financial partner، تحتاج legal partner، تحتاج manufacturing partner، تحتاج raw material partner، تحتاج a lot of partners comes into every business model. Number 9 is your cost structure. زين الحين احنا عرفنا ان شنو revenue streams. زين how much is it gonna cost me to actually do that product, to roll it out in the market, keeping in mind كل هذه الامور, keeping in mind revenue stream, keeping in mind the manufacturing, keeping in mind the cost structure, or sorry, the key partners, keeping in mind the key activities, keeping in mind the assets ماليني, keeping in mind the customer relationship or customer channels. كل هذه الامور, how much is it going to cost me to actually roll out the product into the market. وعلى اساسها راح اقرر a lot of things. راح اقرر شنو هامش الربح مالي، راح اقرر شنو بالضبط what kind of revenue streams I have to add to the business وغيرها من هاي الامور. That's all in all what the business model is. So one example I want to take is the difference between Skype. طبعا كلكم تعرفون Skype. The other business اللي we're going to take is the خلينا نقول كشك او let's call it يعني كشك في بيتش ولا في محل يبيع lemonade. Okay. So if we take the business model of الكشك, خلينا نبتدي واحد واحد. Customer segment, الكشك طبعا راح يكون في بارك, في amusement park. Okay. So who's the customer segment? Customer segment راح يكون البارك visitors. طبعا انا limited على البارك, so I'm serving البارك, therefore customer segment مالي هم البارك visitors. زين شنو الشانلز اللي هاي الكاستمر يبي انه يوصل له البزنس ثرو؟ البوث سيل. طبعا في عندي البوث اللي ببيع عن طريقه ليمونيد، وفي another service that the lemonade خلينا نقول booth offered is that you can اذا انت شويه بعيد عن البوث okay you can just go into the website, order and exactly explain and send the location of where you exactly are, والlemonade راح يوصل لعندك if you're within the park itself. That's another channel اللي البزنس introduced. زين شنو الريليشن شيب بالضبط اللي راح يصير؟ الريليشن شيب از ا بزنس بيرسونال ريليشن شيب، لان الكاستمر نفسه راح يستقبل الليمونيد من ان اكشوال امبلويي، ما راح يكون روبوت. اذا روبوت that's a completely different thing، راح يكون في different kind of relationship مع مع البارك فيزيتور. اوكي هاي ثلاث اشياء. الفاليو بروبوزيشن ماله شنو؟ It's cold and tasty natural lemonade on the go ومكانه هو بروحه موجود في البارك. That's a value proposition. ما في competitor قاعد يوفر نفس الشيء. ما في competitor في البارك قاعد يوفر lemonade that is natural and on the go. That's a value proposition. زين شنو الكي ريسورسز اللي هو يحتاجها؟ الكي ريسورسز اللي يحتاجها are ingredients of the lemonade, sales people اساس انهم ينادون and the booth and equipment، المكان نفسه والايكوبمنت، الخلاطه غيرها العصاره وهاي. فذاتس ذا كي ريسورس. شنو بيسوي هو؟ شنو الكي اكتيفيتيز اللي راح يسويها؟ راح يسوي 3 things. 1 is the core key activity انه هو بيسوي lemonade. Second الكي اكتيفيتي الثانيه انه هو بيسوي ماركتينج، بيوزع مثلا بروشورز ولا بيوزع فلايرز ولا بيروح مثلا بيخلي السيلز بيبل يتكلمون مثلا مع الكاستمر يعطونهم هاي. Number 3 is actually selling, to have that kind of transaction بين الباير and seller. طيب من الكي بارتنرز مال الليمونيد بوث؟ الليمونيد بوث عنده كي بارتنر واحد حاليا and we can add another one as well. الكي بارتنر الاولي راح يكون municipalities اللي هم الهيئات الحكوميه اللي تسمح او تعطي that kind of تصريح او تخويل حق الليمونيد انه يكون في البارك. We can add another one as well which is مثلا شركه خضروات معينه مثلا اللي قاعده تجيب الليمون فريش كل يوم حق الليمونيد بوث. زين شنو الريفينيو ستريمز مالينا؟ انا قاعد ابيع lemonade sales، في another revenue stream اللي هو tips. she not consistent اوكي مو ضروري يكون there every time بس I'm actually making money out of it. لأن في بعض الأحيان إذا كان السيلز بيرسون مثلا جدا خلوق وخدوم وغيره, sometimes people might give him a tip. The tip هذا goes into the business and that's one of the revenue stream. بعض الأحيان لا, tip goes to the sales person himself. That's another thing to discuss. اخيرا وليس اخرا, شنو الكوست ستراكشر؟ شنو اللي قاعد يكلفني؟ اللي قاعد يكلفني ingredient, equipment, salary, commissions and flyers. That is the business model of a lemonade booth. Moving forward, let's talk about Skype. Let's talk about Skype. Go first. Who is the customer segment of that specific, let's say, application or that specific software? The customer segment is web users globally. Everyone can use it. So therefore, web users globally. And specifically, people who want to call without using telecom, خلينا نقول, medium. They want to call phones. They want to call through the IP, through the internet. هذه الكاستمر segment. So what are the channels اللي I identified على أساس إنه أقدر أوصل للكاستمر؟ The channels I identified is Skype.com, headset partnership. في بعض الأحيان يكون whoever buys a headset, في partnership صارت بين سكايب وبين Dr. Dre headsets. If you buy the headset, you by default get a subscription at Skype for 3 months. That's another thing that they have introduced as well through that kind of channel. Number 3, what kind of relationship are we establishing between us and the customer? The relationship is a mass customer. لأن احنا we're targeting web users globally. Therefore, that kind of relationship is a mass customer relationships. يعني راح تكون عن طريق الايميلز, راح تكون عن طريق الشات بوت, راح تكون عن طريق مثلا البدالة وغيره. زين, شنو الفاليو proposition اللي I'm bringing into the market? The value proposition I'm bringing into the market is I'm offering people free internet call, voice call and video calls. I'm actually offering people to call their families outside Bahrain through video. That's a value proposition. They were the first to come up with such a technology. What else? They offer cheap calls to phones. They had something that's called Skype Out that partially uses the credit that you have within your telecom خلينا نقول subscription. شنو الكي resources اللي هم يحتاجونها? The key resources are 2 things. One is they need software developers, and the second is they need a software to actually let people use. Number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6 is what are the key activities? شنو هم يسوون بالضبط? What they do is basically do software development. قاعدين هم يهيئون هاي السيستم for people to use. If people use it, طبعا في underlying activities, في a lot of activities that Skype do in reality, but let's take it simply. You know, all they do is do a software that people are going to use. طبعا في financial control, في quality assurance, في غيرها من هذه الامور, بس we're here to discuss the high level خلينا نقول business model of that kind of business. من البارتنرز مالين؟ البارتنرز مالين are payment providers, لان I'm going to have online payment gateways. Okay, distribution partners, الناس اللي انا قاعد اسوي معاهم headset partnership for example, they're actually distributing my subscription and my product to the mass customer, mass public. And number 3 are the telco partners. telco partners ممكن يكون من ناحية licensing, ممكن يكون من ناحية legals وغيرها من هاي الامور, على اساس انه the telecom partners يكونون in line with what Skype is bringing to the market. What are my revenue streams? My revenue streams is Skype Out prepaid or subscription. عندنا we have either ان احنا we put a balance in Skype and we utilize that kind of balance completely, او ان احنا we subscribe. مثلا عندي if I want to talk for example for 50 hours I pay مثلا $3 a month. So that's kind of prepaid payment or subscription payment. And hardware sales is for them to sell the hardware through which a subscription مال Skype موجود على الهيدسет. The cost structure شنو بالضبط اللي قاعد يكلفهم؟ قاعد يكلفهم السوفت وير ديفلوبمنت، هذا تكلفة كبيرة جدا. And finally, the complaint management system, which is how to utilize or how to be in contact with the customer and how to receive their complaints and actually apply such kind of changes they want to have within the system. Business model is the overall direction of how you think about a business. What I want you to do, Hain, think of this. Just Google business model canvas. Just Google it. وبيطلع لكم البزنس موديل كانفاس هذه اللي راويتكم اياها ساعه وال9 blocks. Okay, وفيها description بعد. What I want you to do is I want you to think of different businesses, okay, and think of different خلينا نقول منصات or different platforms that actually you can analyze their business model through. يعني تشوفوا محل مثلا تشوفوا the platforms like Netflix, platforms like Facebook, like YouTube, like تشوفوا what kind of business model are they following. You can Google it, you can analyze it yourself, you can think about it and then research it. Best think about it and do that. And I promise you, you're going to open doors for a lot of things to learn. لأن you have started with a business model, and that's exactly what happened with me. I started analyzing businesses through business model, وهاي شيء فتح لي آفاق كبيرة جدا، خلاني أتعلم a lot of things in marketing and go-to-market strategies and market fit and product design and a lot of things as well. So I would really recommend that you do that and analyze exactly the different kind of businesses. Thank you very much, and it was a great time to have you guys.